The North Dakota Legislature will be starting their session soon, and we wanted to learn a little bit more about what will be happening at the Capitol while they're all there. So here to explain the process are North Dakota League of Cities Executive Director Matt Gardner, as well as Deputy Director Stephanie Dassinger Engebretson. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for being here.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, now I've heard of the League of Cities. I guess I get a feel for what you guys are all about, but why don't you tell me a little bit about what's the overview of what you guys do?
Yeah, no problem. So North Dakota League of Cities, as I like to say, we provide resources for all the cities in the state, 355 of them. The League of Cities started back in 1912, so we've been around a long time. And even back then, it was about how to share information, and advocacy at the Capitol is a big part of that. But a lot of it is just the resources. I mean, when you have 355 cities, how do you share ideas? And really, I think the League helps foster that.
Okay, how do you take 355 communities, cities, whatever, and be an advocate for each and every one of them? Because I would assume that there are some differing opinions and differing wants and needs.
Yeah, well, when you figure it out, Wayne, let me know.
Yeah,
But yes, it is challenging. But I would say overall, I mean, our communities are about the people that live there. So they're constantly trying to figure out what services the residents need, and yes, they're all different, and we like that too. We believe in local control is something that we talk about, but all those local communities, 355 of them, they have their own elected boards, they have their own staff, and they're pretty close-knit with their community. A story I like to share is in Findlay. I was there to give an award to a student who won our mayor essay contest, and I was in the school with the mayor, and just in the short time I was there, 4 people came and talked to the mayor, and it ranged from what's happening at the park, what's happening to the streets, and that's why our communities are great, is because you know who the mayor is in your community.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to you in a second, Stephanie, but I want to ask you too, Matt. As the legislative session is coming upon us now in January, it's every other year. How is that unique, and what are some of the challenges that creates for you guys?
Yeah, we're pretty unique. I mean, first I like to mention our legislators, they have real jobs. They're citizens just like you and I. We don't have a full-time legislature like many other states. And our legislature, they meet 80 days every 2 years. So we're not every year, they're not constantly in session. They come in, they do their work, and they go home, which I think is a good thing. But also presents some challenges. I mean, when your lawmaking body is only here every other year, you know, that presents challenges, but I think that's the benefit to local governments, is they're there. They meet every month, generally, sometimes more than that, and they can help those day-to-day operations of your community, and the legislature comes in every couple of years and does the work of the state.
Okay, Stephanie, you know, without getting too far in the weeds on this, how does a bill become law? What are some of the processes that it has to go through?
Sure, thanks, Wayne. So every bill in North Dakota, again, we're unique. Every bill gets at least 1 hearing and 1 vote on the floor. It gets introduced and then works its way either through the House or the Senate through a committee. So it gets heard by a committee, they decide what to do with it, and then it gets a vote in the Chamber of Origin, so in the House if it starts in the House, or the Senate if it starts in the Senate, and then crosses over and goes through that same process on the other side of the aisle, or the hall, as we like to call it. One thing to remember is that in order for something to become a law, both the House and the Senate have to pass the exact same thing.
Word for word.
Word for word, has to be the same, and then the governor has to sign it. So we have 3 different offices, bodies looking at something before it becomes law in North Dakota.
We're down to a minute. What is the Legislative Council?
Legislative Council, I would say that's the staff for the legislature.
Okay.
Each legislator, they do not have their own staff. There's just a group there that will help them draft bills and answer questions.
2 more quick things. Number 1, the term lobbyist sometimes has a bad connotation to it. That's not necessarily the case.
No, I would say in some way we're the staff of the legislature as well. I mean, we represent the cities, and we have the information and can understand their challenges. So if you're a lawmaker and you're curious how this bill is going to impact the cities of North Dakota and those residents, you come ask the lobbyist.
Okay. Also, there's a magazine out right now for January that people can pick up as we take a look at it. Tell me a little bit about CityScan.
Yeah, CityScan, I would say, is our #1 tool for interacting with our members. It's a lot of great information. This issue is specifically about the legislature and our communities out there. They understand that the work of the legislature does impact them at the city level. So CityScan is a great tool for us.
One more really quick question. Contacting your legislator. If you don't know who it is and you need to find out and you want to contact them, is there a simple way to do it?
So if you look at ndlegis.gov, that has the legislative webpage, and on there you can look up all of your senators and representatives by a map, and then most of them have usually it's their cell phone and their home phone number, as well as an email address.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know the time is short. There was so many more things I didn't get to on my sheet of paper here. Appreciate you coming in, and Happy New Year
Thank
to
you.
you both.
You too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you much.